this time we are coming from Saudi Arabia, from the Tabuk province, and I'd like to welcome Farzana Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, Farzana, and Jazakallah so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, and Jazakallah so much for joining us. Farzana, it was just 30 minutes or 40 minutes, iftar was broken in your part.
Exactly. I'm at the dining hall as we speak, breaking my fast. Here's my dates. With Saudi coffee and dates, and I've got my plate of food, which I'll be eating after the score.
I'm not going to keep you too long because I don't want to keep you away from your food. Farzana, talk to us about, it is Saudi Arabia, and I know the festivities, the barakah that comes during Ramadan, but you in Tabuk province, there's a rich history in Tabuk. We know it was the Battle of Tabuk, which Rasulullah was part of, but talk to us about how it is observed in that part of Saudi Arabia.
So I'm actually living on a project camp. We're busy building a smart city here in Saudi Arabia in the desert. So I'm actually a bit far away from the nearest city, which is Tabuk City, which is in Tabuk province, which is about 2 hours away. But as you've said, this whole region there's so much historical and Islamic significance in this area. And the one good thing is I have a Saudi driver's license. So a very rare thing to have as a female here in Saudi Arabia. And the good thing is I've been able to explore the region. So in Tabuk itself, Tabuk city, you have the Prophet's Mosque. This is where the Prophet came for the Battle of Tabuk, which was when they thought the Byzantine Empire was going to be invading them. And the Prophet stayed there for about 20 days. They built a mosque there. What's an interesting story is they were running out of water. So the Prophet ﷺ washed his hands and his face and made dua for water. And there was a spring that started flowing with abundant water. And the Prophet ﷺ actually said that, your children, whoever lives long enough will see gardens in Tabuk. And as you know, Saudi Arabia is mostly desert country, whereas if you come to Tabuk, it's quite green. There's around 14,500 farms, grapes, figs, dates. So, this is the barakah of the Prophet ﷺ. But apart from that, we're also in the region of Midian. And this is where Prophet Musa salam crossed when he came from Egypt. So we've got some really cool historical places like Musa salam, the well where Musa salam met his future wife, Prophet Shuaib's daughter. We've got the caves of Prophet Shuaib. We've got the springs, the 12 springs. We've got the rock that he struck his staff at and water gushed out. We've also got the place, it's called Wadi Tayyib Ism, where you cross from Egypt, and the mountain has literally been split in two. You can walk for 5 kilometers in this mountain that's been split in two. So very amazing historical and Islamic things. So people should visit us. We've got a lot of things to see and do here.
Alhamdulillah. Talk to us about Ramadan, Farzana. Everyone would say that when you are in an Islamic country, it's celebrated even, bigger and better. But you would know best because you are there, especially in Saudi Arabia, and just how things are observed during this blessed month.
Yeah, sure. So I'm South African, so most of my life I observed Ramadan in South Africa, but then I moved to the Netherlands and also Denmark. And apart from the long hours, it was a very lonely experience because most times I was probably the only person that was fasting. So coming to observe Ramadan in an Islamic country is really special for me. It's the first time that I am actually in a Muslim country. And, it's as what you've just said, there's this whole community spirit. It's very festive. The Saudis come alive at night, and most of them only go to bed after Fajr. and there's just so many of these activities. I mean, just where we are, the whole camp has been decorated. It's a pity I can't show you. But the whole camp's been decorated. Before we started Ramadan, there were presentations to the whole company for the non-Muslims to explain to them what Ramadan is. The nice thing is our working hours have been reduced, and we've got special meal times for sehri and for iftar. And I'm not sure if you've broken your fast, but I can show you what I got.
Yeah, we have
for
broken
today's
our fast,
iftar.
so you're more than welcome to do
Okay.
it, Farzana.
Sure. So Vimto, this
Yes.
is a staple it's a very sweet syrupy drink.
Yes.
I've got foo.
Okay.
So it's think a bean
Yes, yes.
thing. Let's go, yeah. Lamb haris. Sorry, I don't want to spill.
Okay.
It's something like what is it we have in South Africa? The soup.
Halim, is it Halim?
Halim. Yeah,
Halim, yes,
it's
yes,
similar
yes,
to
yes.
halim. And this is my favorite dish, Ali.
Okay, okay.
And this is lukaimet. It's like round cooked sisters. And then they also have fries. So I've got samosas, kibba, and also lamb kapsa.
Okay.
And what's nice is they have, it's only during this time where they have special like Arabic dishes that are traditional for the region. And we do have quite a big expat community, so obviously they cater for all people. But what's been really special is that how Islam is being portrayed in Ramadan to the non-Muslims, because a lot of my colleagues are now starting to fast, and there's just a different perception of Islam, because you have people from the West, from the States, the UK, Europe, etc. And this is the first time that they've been exposed to Muslims and Islam, so they're able to change their perception of how what it actually means to be a Muslim and to observe Ramadan.
You talk about expats, Farzana. I mean, mentioning, I mean, there's so many, and I'm sure, so many Muslims, be from the subcontinent, Southeast Asia, Africa, maybe even from the Middle East. So it's lovely, isn't it, to have this diverse culture and interacting, especially during Ramadan.
Yeah, no, definitely. And because, as I said, we in this project camp, so many of us away from our families, or what we also used to. So we've become each other's families, and like you say, it's just such a variety of traditions, and it's just so nice to experience Ramadan with people from all over the world.
Farzana, I'm not going to keep you away from your food. I mean, the dishes look divine, so I'm going to allow you to go ahead and eat. I would like to say Jazakallah to you for joining us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to grant you good health and the ability to continue the fantastic work that you're doing in the book, and grant you barakah, inshallah. Ameen.
Jazakallah. It's been really lovely speaking to a fellow South African. So, and Ramadan Mubarak for the rest of the month. Take care, my dear.
Jazakallah,
Okay,
and
Assalamu
Ramadan
alaikum.
Mubarak to you also.